Welcome to the Hell Has an Exit podcast with host Teddy Tarantino. New episodes every Tuesday at 4 p.m. Eastern. Don't forget to subscribe.
All right, hey, welcome to Hell Has an Exit. I'm your host, Teddy Tarantino. Today I have my good friend, long time, known each other probably like, what, 10 years?
Yeah, longer
Probably
than that.
Longer than 10 years?
Yeah, back in 2000, let's say 10.
So let's do a proper introduction. Ryan O, Broward County legend. What's up, bro?
What's up? How are you?
I appreciate it. I think you're the only guest who's done this twice.
Am I?
Yeah.
Wow.
You were originally episode 9. So if you guys want to hear Ryan O's full entire story, you go to episode 9. One of the closest people in my life. I love you. I believe in you. I trust you. Good dude. Seen you go from hopeless drug addict to having, what do you have, 5 years now?
4 years and 9 months and 3 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
4 years, 9 months, and 3 days.
Yeah, it means a lot to me. I count.
Do you really count every day, or you just count sometimes?
I know the month. I know on the
Okay.
first of every month I have a certain amount.
Okay.
It's important to me. Very important. It's everything to me. My clean time's everything to me. Won't give it up for nothing.
Yeah, bro, it has to be. Where you from?
Cooper City, Florida.
Ooh.
Broward County.
Broward County.
954. Born and raised. Born and raised here and got clean here.
Mm-hmm.
Ran through every single hood around here.
Yeah, what was growing up like for you?
Growing up was cool. Good childhood, parents, middle class. I can't complain. I didn't have any excuse other than that I was just an addict, born with this disease. Played sports, ran outside in the streets,
I heard you were slow.
No.
You were fast?
Yeah.
What'd you do the 40?
Always.
What'd you do the 40 in?
4.39.
Is that fast?
Very fast. That's NFL. Yeah.
No, it's not.
Oh yeah,
You
it's
think
like
so?
Tyreek Hill. Yeah, Tyreek Hill runs like a 4.2.
Wow.
Yeah.
You were always into sports, huh?
Yeah, sports was my addiction growing up. That was my thing, my adrenaline rush, when I wasn't playing sports at night, I was throwing rocks at, the police, throwing eggs at the cops, running, doing stuff for that rush. That was my first addiction, that rush.
Yeah. What when did you start using? Why do you think you started using?
Friends, using, obviously, drinking, 12 years old, hanging out with the friends, trying alcohol. Just kind of grew up around it. Where I'm from, everyone at a young age was either smoking weed, drinking, something, trying it,
Mm-hmm.
I just latched onto it.
When I tell people about like my childhood, they think I like grew up in like the hood. Like when I tell people about like cuz I was at the Drake concert and I ran into my boy who I grew up with, and I was like, yeah, that's my close friend. I was like, he's doing really good now, but he shot up a car and he did like 10 years in prison. I think he killed somebody. I don't know if the kid died or he lived. And she's just like, oh my God, da 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 da. And then like there's a lot of stories like that, like, oh, that's my other friend, he had like an attempted murder charge or whatever. Like, oh, my friend just died of overdose. And then I took her to like my parents' house, and she just said, I would have thought you grew up like in Overtown or something.
Yeah. No, where we're from, there's a lot of money, a lot of drugs, so a lot of money and drugs.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't matter because you end up in the hood anyways.
Yeah.
So it's like, even if you come from like the suburbs of like Davie or Cooper City or whatever, there is kids that lived in $1 million homes that were way worse than some of the kids who lived in like a trailer park or something. Like there was just kids, we just like grew up fucked up.
Yeah. Drug infested. Pill capital of the world at one point,
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Broward County had more pain clinics than McDonald's for a long time.
Yeah. A little out of control. So yeah, I had a good childhood, played sports.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't really complain. When I stopped playing sports, when I finished my senior year of football, I started trying cocaine, while I'm drinking, partying. Mm-hmm. And I can remember there was like a group of friends that I played sports with that, were tight with, maybe like 10 of us. And I can remember we do cocaine on the weekends, like a little bit or whatever. And I can remember them like being able to put the bag away or just do one bump or whatever and go to sleep. And I can remember myself you know, trying to steal it from them, trying to get it, you know, not understanding how they could put like half a bag in their pocket and go to sleep, you know. And it'd be like 3 days later, and they're like,
Yeah, I
Ryan,
used to have friends who are like, "Oh, I'm gonna save this for tomorrow."
yeah, they're like, Ryan, the party ended 3 days ago. Like, what are you doing? Why are you still up? You know. And I just thought I was a rock star. I just went hard, you know. In sports, I went hard. Anything I did, I just take it to an extreme, you know. But like looking back at it now, I could see, you know, it was an issue, you know, and it was every weekend doing that. So, you know, and then after that, can I tell a story?
Yeah, go for it.
So one time I was on Xanax drinking, and you know, I was with a girl, and I lost. Oh, you know, when you're on Xanax, you just black out, you lose everything,
And steal everything.
steal everything, and so I stole my dad. I was with a girl. I guess we hooked up. We had sex for a few hours, whatever. It was like 4 a.m. She needed a ride home. She lived down the street, and so like I couldn't find the keys to my car, so I took my dad's like new Acura TL. At the time, it was like a real nice car, you know.
Yeah, when the Acura TL came out, it was a fire ass car.
Yeah.
That shit was so sick.
So I wasn't allowed to drive it ever. I wasn't even allowed to touch it, nothing, you know.
Yeah, my sister dated a guy who had one, and it was like the sickest shit.
Sickest, right? So I snatched the keys at like 4 a.m.
Yeah.
And I took her home, and supposedly when I was driving back home, I guess I turned down my street. I live on a cul-de-sac, and I fell asleep at the wheel, maybe going like 30, 40. And I woke up to hitting a palm tree in my front yard, and I was airborne. And boom, I crashed into my house. Boom, like a real serious impact. Airbags hit. You know, I didn't understand what was going on. I thought the car was going to blow up. I can't get out the driver's side door.
Did your dad let you drive it? Or you took it?
No. I stole it. I was fucking zannied out. And then I climb out the passenger side, and my dad's standing right there. He's just shaking his head. The whole landscaping, the front yard, there's a fucking indent in the house. And I could curse in here?
Yeah.
Okay. So, yeah, there's an indent in the house, and my dad just shook his head, and I went to sleep. I threw him the keys, and I went right to sleep. My dad just couldn't believe it, you know. I went right to bed, and I woke up, and I was like, that was a bad dream. You know, when you wake up, you don't know if it's bits real. And pieces, yeah. And I was like, no way, that didn't that happened, you know. And I went and I saw that, and my dad he said, you know what, you know, sent me off to school. I went to University of Central Florida. I had someone cheat and do the SAT for me.
Oh, really?
I guess it's live now. Yeah. Someone cheated, and they did the SAT for me, so I got like a bright future scholarship. I had like a B. Girls were like, I was cheating in school. Girls were like telling me the answers, and so they cheated on the SAT, and I went to University of Central Florida on like a half scholarship or 75% paid for, you know? So anyways, I went there, and when I got there, I was just not playing sports, and I was just kicking indoors, frat houses, robbing dope boys, you know, just out of control. And Orlando is different than South Florida. Nothing against people in Orlando, but like down here in South Florida, we're just different. We have fades. I'm wearing like Miami Heat jerseys, you know, like the kids over there like surfing and like, you know, it was just different atmosphere, and we were just trying to take advantage of them and rob them, and just like, it was bad. And so then I ended up coming back home, and that's when I got introduced to the Oxy 30.
Were you addicted to cocaine at that point, or were you just still like fucking with it?
I wouldn't say addicted, but I loved it. You know what I mean? Yeah. You know, I drink and do it.
But the pills was like the real downfall?
No, they're all down. It was all like I'm like they said, oh, what is your drug of choice? You know, like me, it's like more. You know, I was more of a speedballer. If I was doing coke, I had to have something to keep me down. Like my thing was like,
you gotta have landing gear.
Coke and blues, like oxys or heroin and crack or whatever. You know, whatever that combo is, Suboxone and fucking meth or whatever. You know. So yeah, I came back, and I got introduced to Oxy 30, and I remember someone giving me the 30, and I took like a half for the first time, like taking it, and I threw up, you know, and I wanted to do more. Yeah, you know.
When you throw up, you feel good after.
Yeah, I threw up, and I was like, wow, you know, I was fucked up for like the whole 24 hours, itching and shit, you know, and I wanted to do more, and then like I got introduced to the pain. Like I grew up with people that like sold the blues, or you know, I grew up looking up to the older cats in the neighborhood that sold the drugs, and like they respected me because I was really good at sports. I was known, you know, not like a tough guy, but like I was known where I'm from, you know. And so like they put me on and started teaching me all like the bad ways of making money and going to these doctors and sponsoring people, and I was bringing girls to the doctor, to the clinic that didn't even do the blues, and just taking their scripts or whatever, you know. And it just spiraled out of control. You know, I can remember being 19, 20. You know, mom kicked me out the house at like 18. When I came back, mom kicked me out the house. I mean, I was just living on my boy's couch, just selling, and I got addicted too. To go back a little bit, I got addicted to like selling. Like in school when I was 16, I was really popular. I was the best person on the football team. You know what I mean? Fastest in the entire school, most athletic in the school. You know, like I got the girls, all that. You know what I mean? I kind of like, I stuck up for kids too that would get bullied, you know? Like, so people really fuck with me.
Yeah.
You know, the dorks fuck with me. The fucking athletes fuck with me. The gangsters fuck with me. Everyone fuck with me. You know what I mean? And I treated everyone good. They all, so I used that to my advantage at like 16, and I was selling weed, and I had the entire school coming and buying weed off me. I mean, the entire school. And I was like, I had a burner phone, you know, and I thought I was like a real dope boy, but I mean, I was really making decent money, you know, every day, people pulling up, literally like 15 people a day, I swear to God. And I had a partner that would help me out when I was busy. He was taking care of it, you know? And, you know, my mom caught my burner. She found my pounds, you know, just kicked me out the house. And then I was selling coke, and then I was selling blues, and then I was selling this, I was selling steroids, I was selling anything, you know what I mean? And it just spiraled out. I was selling coke real bad. And I was using my own supply too. Yeah. I wasn't like, yeah, I made money. I got addicted to that fast money. Trust me, I made money, but I also used a lot of my supply, you know? And so I can remember being like, living at my homeboy's house who's older, and he was selling coke and had girls, and it just was wild, you know? He's a big dope boy too. And I can remember doing coke and wanting to like, sell more, you know, to get more coke or something. It was at a point, and I remember it was a sting operation. I had 2 ounces of coke on me. I went to go meet up with someone. It was my a friend of a friend's brother or something like that. And it was a sting operation, and I was high on coke, you know.
When I was using it, I remember thinking like stuff like this was made up, like that never happened. You know what I mean? Because like until it starts happening, you just think that like you're
paranoid.
Well, I remember thinking like, well, the cops ain't really looking for us. You know what I mean? Like with 2 ounces of coke, but they are.
But they are. Oh, they were. Yeah,
it's crazy.
Yeah, they were looking for me. Like I'm gonna tell you what happened. So I went to go meet the dude, and he's like, meet him behind a Publix. And I've done a lot of drug deals at this point. I'm 20, and I've probably done thousands, you know. And I'm like, meet him behind a Publix. I was like, something ain't right. And I'm high on coke. And he's like, what kind of car you in? And I had told him what car I was in. I was like, well, fuck, you just told him what car you're in, you know. So I busted a Yui, and I was leaving, and I was like at the Burger King down the street. He's like, where are you? And I'm like, I'm in the Burger King over here. And then I was like, you know, I got to get out of here. Something ain't right, you know. So as I'm leaving, I could literally look in my rear view. I saw in my rear view mirror, and you know, you're paranoid. You think that cops are behind you. Well, cops were really behind me, you know. And they were probably like, I'd say maybe a football field behind me, you know, and there was no other cars back, and I could see 2 undercovers flying up on me, and a BSO, you know, like behind them. It was 2 undercovers, unmarked cars, and a BSO behind them. They were flying up on me in Pembroke Pines, and I was supposed to meet them in Cooper City, but it was right at the border. I'm in Pines. And they pulled me over, and they're like, aha. They're like, what's up, man? What are you doing? You know, they're like, and they're like, what you got on you? What you going, you know? And they're like, oh, we got you now. We've been looking for you. We got you now, you know? And get out the car, you know? And I had the ounces of coke, 1,000 cash, and I went in for trafficking cocaine. And my boy bailed me out that I was living with, you know? He flushed all the dope, thinking that they were going to raid him and shit. And I can remember my parents telling me, like, so my parents got involved. They heard about it, and they got an attorney for me. That friend, a friend that was an attorney, good attorney. And the attorney was like, "Listen, I think you should go to rehab. You know, it's probably a good idea, man. You're a little out of control, you know." And I was like, "Rehab's for fucking junkies. Like rehab? What are you talking about rehab? I'm gonna go to rehab, man. Ain't no junkie." And he's like, "It'll look good for your court case." And we said it'll look good for you. He's like, "You're facing trafficking. You know, we get you like a YO sentence, a youthful offender, first time offender." So I was like, all right, I'm there. I went to rehab, and they brought me to my first meeting. This shit's a cult, Bryan. You know, I was like, this shit is, these 12 steps on the wall. People are trying to hug you. They're drinking coffee. They're looking weird. I'm like, what the fuck is this? You know, this ain't for me. This is weird. These people are weird, you know. Corny. All this shit's fucking weird. And so anyways, I can remember even turning 21 in rehab. My first treatment center, I turned 21. They made a cake for me. You know what I mean? And I was like, what are you telling me? I can't ever drink again? I'm not even 21 yet. What are you talking about? You know? They're like, no, you can't even drink, you know? So I wasn't sold. I went to halfway, and sure, you're in the halfway. Like, let's go get. Also, they put me on a 6 months on an ankle monitor when I got out of the treatment center, and 5 years felony probation. And I'm in a halfway house. And
no jail time.
No jail time. It was your first time offender. Yeah. I was wild. I was under 21, you know, good attorney, went to treatment, drug addiction. They use that, you know. So I can remember going to the I can remember getting to halfway, and one of the dudes in the halfway I fuck with, older cat, he's like, oh, let's drink, you know? And I'm like, yeah, alcohol's really not my problem. I gotta fucking drink, and I'm not even 21 yet. You know, I'm 21 now, I could drink, you know? So I had a drink, and I ended up in Sis-Trunk with cocaine on me, you know, and I can remember getting pulled over in Sis-Trunk. Some crazy shit happened in Sis-Trunk. I'm with the dude, he's putting the coke in the thing, and now I used to date, she probably won't listen. The girl you know, Jessica, her cousin.
Yeah.
So anyways, so I used to date this girl, and she's a Fort Lauderdale police officer, you know. And so I was out on bond. No, I wasn't out on bond. I was on. I don't even know if I was on an ankle monitor at the time. Actually, when I went into the halfway house, I think I was out on bond before I went to court. Right.
To get the ankle monitor.
To get the ankle monitor, I was in the halfway right when I got out of treatment. Right. And so I was out on bond. And I had coke on me, and I'm in Sis-Trunk, and the cop came up to the door, and they're like, what are you doing? I pulled over to the gas station. We have coke. You know, he's putting the coke in the fucking seats, and I'm like, fucking coked up, drink alcohol, drunk, you know. And there was like 3 of them, and I was like, you know, I don't want to say her name. You know, this girl I used to date, I dropped her name, and I was like, that's my ex. They're like, that ain't your ex. That's my ex. They're like, hold on, we'll be right back.
Wow.
They go and call her, and they're like, hey, get the fuck out of here.
Wow.
Yeah, and I was out on
crazy.
bond to have another charge. I would have had another charge of cocaine charge. Yeah. So I so many times in my story that I got really, really lucky. I mean, I've committed a lot of crimes that I should be, you know, shouldn't be here. But anyway, so yeah, that happened, and and then I got put on that. I was at my dad, and then I fell back into the same shit. It wasn't sold in the program. Ended up violating. They sent me to the Conti facility, Broward County. My first time going to jail.
Explain jail at Conti for people that don't know what it is.
This is the county jail, Broward County County Jail. It's a facility, one of the facilities that they have, 3 facilities that they have. They have the Broward Main Jail, they have the Paul Ryan, they have the North Broward, and they have the Conti. So after Broward Main Jail, you either get shipped. There's 4 of them, 4 county jails in Broward. So Conti's the nicest one out of all of them. So send me to a 90-day treatment
I thought Paul
center.
Ryan was.
Nah.
Really?
It's called Paul Ryan's close.
Okay.
Paul Ryan and Conti are like very similar. You know what I mean? Very similar. You know, it's definitely better than North Broward or Main Jail, you know?
Yeah.
So so they sent me to the Conti, and they sent me to a 90-day, I got court ordered to a 90-day rehab in jail.
SAP.
Mind you, I'm like 22. No, it's SAP. It's called ATEC.
Okay.
Remember ATEC program? I don't know if you remember. It was back then. It was like it's a 90-day SAP, you know?
Yeah.
So we're in there. It's a therapeutic community. I'm like, what the fuck? H&I's coming in every night, and we're making our beds. And I'm like, this is crazy. And I can remember H&I coming in, and I seen the dudes in jail that I thought were cool, and they're taking it serious. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe this is for real. I don't know, you know? But you have to sit in that H&I meeting every day for 90 days. Yeah. So I have to sit there and listen. You can't go to your cell. So I can remember getting out of jail, and I had like 5 months clean, right? Now, this is like kind of like, you know, I love my dad and shit. And sometimes family members, they don't understand, you know, like they feel like people that don't understand addiction, they think like you just got to be tough. People would tell me that would sell the blues and not do them. You got to have that military mind state, Ryan. How are you going to let this blue pill control your life? You know, and I grew up very competitive. I'm talking like super competitive. And I'm like, how can this dude do it? And I know I'm tougher than this guy, and I can't. What am I less than? What am I weak? You know? And they're like, don't label yourself an addict. Don't put that label on yourself, you know? And so I remember getting out at 5 months clean, and my dad threw a 6-pack down. He's like, son, have a beer. And I'm like, Dad, alcohol's a drug. I can't have a beer. He's like, you just did 5 months in the county jail. Have yourself a beer, man. You know? Like a real man. I think he told me like a real man could have a beer and handle himself. And I'm like, damn. Again, very competitive and like alpha, and like what am I, not a real man? I can't have a fucking beer.
Yeah, you feel like you're soft.
Yeah, what am I, soft? You know what I'm saying? I grew up fighting and all that stuff, tough shit, you know? So like it really fucked with me, and I had that beer, and I went back to the pain clinics, went back, then I violated, went back to treatment. And when I tell you from like the age of 20 to age of 31, I've been in treatment probably like 30-something times.
Wow.
Around 30, probably 20-something private facilities and the rest state-run facilities. I mean, I've been in so many facilities. Detox 15 times. I've been arrested 12 times. Been to prison once. I've been Baker acting myself like 5 times. I would Baker act myself just to get off the street, you know, at a certain point. I knew all the little licks and stuff, you know. But yeah, man, and I can remember going, and then I'm back in these meetings. I can remember people telling me, and I'm like, couldn't take the meeting serious, you know? Like, this shit's corny, you know, just for today, meeting makers, man, you know, this shit's so fucking corny, you know? It still wasn't sold.
Yeah.
And I can remember being like, listen, I don't shoot dope. I don't smoke crack. I'm not doing all this, you know? Like, I was doing coke and blues and smoking weed and Xanax. And they were like, yeah, and I'm like, I'm not homeless. I'm not none of that, you know? I can't really understand. Like, maybe I have to get that bad to be able to get clean. You know, I don't understand. They're like, well, you keep going down this path. That's a yet. You know, all these things that, like, I saw these people doing that I said I would never do or whatever. These people were right. 11 years down the road, like, it only got worse. And all the things I said I wouldn't be doing or all the things I was judging other people doing, I was doing, you know? So it's like all the shit they would say in the meetings, I thought it was corny. I didn't believe it. But it's all true. It all makes sense. Like, it all makes sense to me now. Why they have the meetings, why they have these corny sayings, why they have the steps, why the steps are in order, why they read the readings before the meeting. You know what I mean? Like, if you really pay attention to why they tell you to do H&I, why they tell you to do the service, why do they tell you to get a home group, why they tell you, you know what I'm saying? It all makes perfect sense. Like, having, you know, the time that I have now. But yeah, man, my life just, it got worse and worse, Bryan. It got really bad. They say, like, it only gets worse. It's true. They say you pick up where you left off. And, like, I battled for a long time just trying to use one because I love getting high. I love it.
Or just trying to be normal.
Just trying to be normal.
I don't even want to get fucked up. I don't want to go to meetings for the rest of my life. Like, I want to be able to, like, drink and not even to get drunk. Just, like, have a couple of drinks. Have a good time. Smoke a little bit of weed. Yeah. I still want to sell weed because I'm like, I can't sell weed, you know?
I just wanted to, yeah. And like I said, I grew up, like, how can I battle with it. I'm very competitive. I'm like, I'm not going to let this drug win. I'm going to be able to do one this time, and this drug's not going to take control of me. I'm going to have more power and discipline. Like everyone else that I know that could do it, that I know I'm tougher than. I know I'm tougher than a lot of people that can handle it. Why can't I handle it, you know? You know what I'm saying? So it fucked with me for a while. Yeah. And, you know, I just love getting high. I just can't deal with these consequences that come along with it. Am I too loud?
No, that's good.
I get a little... But yeah, man, it was rough, and it got to a point like girls would leave me. I'd leave the girls. It was just bad. Like my family, it got to a point where they were just sick and tired. They gave up on me for a long time. They just had to step away, you know. It was just hurting them, you know. You know, and I got real bad in my addiction, you know. What am I supposed to be talking? What else? Yeah. Flocka came around.
Yeah, a lot of people think like Flocka was fake or something.
Oh no.
But like in Broward, it was crazy.
Yeah, they had a DEA Flocka unit. Yeah, like, it was taken over from China. They're sending it in through the mail, and that Flocka was crazy, man. I did that Flocka. I was like a superhuman. My strength. I'm walking around yelling at people. I'm so strong. Like I keep going for days. And I get butt naked too. I take a hit of Flocka. I'm fucking running around naked. Your clothes off. Oh yeah, I'm running around naked. I'm fucking Pornhub. I'm acting out of control, you know, looking for a girl. Yeah, man, that Flocka's bad. But yeah, and then crack brought me to my knees. Really, crack really fucking took over. Yeah, crack cocaine is one hell of a drug.
It really is.
Yeah, crack cocaine, man. I've tried it all. Meth, and you know, meth is crazy too. You know, but that crack, man, I don't know.
Yeah, it's crazy how it just like has a hold over you because like whenever I would finish, I would be like, I'm never going to do this again. You really would believe it.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you're done. It's just like, it makes no sense. Yeah. It only lasts like 5 seconds. It costs too much money. It's like all night thing. Towards the end, you just wish you never bought it. And like, man, I've thrown out so many crack pipes, smashed them, and then be looking for them the next day in the bushes or something, you know, and just like doing it all over again, over and over and over. And then the dreams, and like, it's just really... It really gets like attached to your psyche. Like, you know, I tell people all the time, like if I think about it long enough, I could taste it.
Yeah.
I smell it sometimes.
Do you? I've smelled it before in bathrooms. I walked in. I'm like, oh, that's crack. I smell that shit. Yeah. Know? Someone just took a blast in here, you know? And yeah, I mean, imagine the worst is smoking crack. You see me? Yeah. The worst is smoking crack outside in like the woods and sweating and like in the bushes and like fucking, oh my God, outside is the worst. You're so paranoid looking around, you know?
I remember I went to a meeting once and this guy was like, you know, you want to talk about having courage? Having courage was, you know, you'd be smoking crack in like a gas station bathroom and then thinking about giving the key back to the guy. And it's like, man, that feeling of like being in a gas station, sweating, smoking, people banging on the door.
Yep.
You just keep saying you're gonna leave after this one hit.
You get stuck in there.
You get stuck in there. People
Looking
are,
under the door.
everyone's like,
Yeah.
what's going on in there?
Yeah. Oh, it's the worst, man. Being outside doing drugs is the worst. I mean, inside, yeah, you have your like, you could close some blinds and like, have your peace and
Yeah,
jerk off
bad.
and do whatever you want, get a girl or whatever, But when you're outside, it's like really tough. But yeah, I mean, it just got real bad. Real bad. Robbing dope boys, not caring in the hood, like not caring if they killed me. Like I've almost gotten killed twice, and I had to tell them I'm sorry. What I'm saying, like, I'm bad. Please. Can remember being this one dude who's like crazy killer blood, like got off death row, was just whacked out, and he's like, I kept knocking on his door like 5 a.m. asking him for a nick, and he has a family and shit in a hotel room with his kids and his wife and his girl, and he's like, bro, he says, do not knock on my, he says, you knock on my door one more motherfucking time at 5 a.m, I'm gonna kill you, and 5 a.m, 4 a.m, I'm banging, I'm knocking on the door, having that courage, talking about courage. Don't do it. I can't help it, you know what I'm saying? Bam, pointing a gun at me, dog, just crazy stuff, man. Drug addiction.
And then when did you start going to prison? Or when did you go to prison?
I started going to jail. I started going to jail in and out of the county jail. I probably spent 3 years of my life total. I've done 6 months here, 5 months here, 6 months again, 3 months here, 2 months here, 1 month here, 3 months here, And then got to a point where, like, my addiction got so bad, I ended up in, like, Miami. I ran through Overtown, Little Haiti. I was out, and I had warrants for my arrest. And my dad's like, listen, you turn yourself in. I called him from, like, Banyan. I'm, like, in some fucking Baker Act unit in Little Havana. I told my father, I'm sorry, I'm done. I want to, take it in. Like, I said, Dad, if you put because they never would put canteen. Like in the beginning they did. They stopped putting canteen. And I'd have to like hustle for my canteen. And then my dad's like, listen, I was like, Dad, if I turn myself in, will you put $100 a canteen on my books every week? If I turn myself in right now, go get help. Trying to manipulate. He's like, absolutely. I was like, no way. So I was like, all right, meet me here. So he picked me up, met me. He turned me in and dropped me off in front of the main jail. Turned myself in. It was the first time I ever turned myself in. And I called my dad and I'm like, Dad, you got? He goes, nah, sorry, son.
Oh wow, he
tricked me into going.
Okay.
And I was like, that's fucked up, And so, anyways, and when you're in jail, everyone talks about prison. Oh, prison is so bad, and I've been to prison, and I'm like, oh, you're so tough, Oh, I've been to prison. They walk around with their chest out, even the little guys, I've been to the chain gang, So like, let's see what. So then I went to court, and the prosecutor's like, Ryan, the judge was tired of me. The judge has been seeing me forever. I used to talk to the judge, cuffed up. Come on, Uson, Michael Uson. You know what I'm saying? If you're out there, he was solid. He talked to me, give me chances after chance after chance. And I'm like, come on, don't send me to prison. Son. Let me go to. I'd always try and like manipulate my way into a program or something. I'm really good at that. I get people to write letters and shit. And he's like, and then the prosecutor came up to me and she's like, Ryan, he didn't want to send you to prison. Where my PD, my public defender, the prosecutor wants to send me to prison. You score out, whatever. And I was like. They're like, you score out to 14 months. Oh, 14 months? They're like, yeah, you'll have like 2 months time served. You'll go and do like 8 or 9, I was like, run that shit. Let's see what they're talking about at prison shit, I'm not, that macho inside me, I want to see what's about, Those guys talk about that prison, see how tough it really is, So I got sent to prison. I went to the Florida Reception Center, and man, that shit is wild. I mean, I'm talking wild. They sent me to the reception center, and I mean, wow, Brian. Like, the county jail is like preschool. Prison's like med school. I mean, I'm talking like real, like night and day. You're safe in the county jail. You're super safe. You could bump it out. You get no little fist fights. That's it. There's no stabbings, no crazy shit. They're watching you at all times, But that prison, so they sent me to prison, and I remember like I had a cellmate. His name was Murder, right? He had Lost Soul tatted on his face, gold teeth. He was from Riviera Beach. He was a Zoe Mafia, ZMF, it was my cellie. He's like, Ryan, they swanging over there in Martin. They swanging, they killing, the gang, you know, it's gangland over there. And everywhere in my pod, they'd be talking about Martin, how bad Martin is. They're killing, they're stabbing. It's fucking vicious, you know. And the gang members were scared. I remember him telling me at night, man, Ryan, I hope they don't send me to Martin. They're killing over there, you know. Like, and he's a gang member. He's scared to go, you know. And I'm like, wow, that's crazy, you know. Fucking, it sounds pretty bad, you know. And South Florida Reception Center was pretty bad in itself, you know. So, like, there's probably like 100 camps in Florida. And usually when you have like 5 years or under, you go to work camp, which is a sweet camp, you know. Anything over 5 years, you go to like a different camp. You know, there's probably like 60 other ones you could go to. There's private camps. There's like 3 private camps in Florida with AC, you know.
There's only 3?
Yeah,
wow.
with AC.
Wow.
It's 2 or 3. It might be.
It's so crazy.
Yeah.
Every time you tell me that, it blows my mind.
Yeah, the private camps. They got AC. They got dogs in there. It's like so laid back. Everyone's hanging out. It's like the county jail all over again, you know. So, long story short, like my friends kept getting shipped out, and I can remember like them not calling my name, and I'm wondering like why aren't they calling my name, you know? And you know, everyone's going to work camp and stuff, and so I remember they called my name, just me, you know, and I'm like, wow, just me. Maybe I'm going to private camp, you know, because like my custody isn't a high custody, you know. I had like, you know, my charges weren't that serious, you know, grand theft autos, like grand thefts and like misdemeanors, you know, whatever, you know. And so they call my name, and I get on one bus with a guy, and I'm like, where am I going, you know? And he looked at the sheet, and I seen the sheet. It said Martin. I said, come on, man, you know? What the fuck, man? You're going to send me to Florida's most violent camp, you know? What the fuck, you know? The reason was why I couldn't go to work camp is because I lied, and I would tell them I had seizures to get gabapentin. And not only to get gabapentin, it's to get bottom bunk and bottom tier. So I have bottom tier, bottom bunk. I could get to the phone the fastest. I don't have to get on the top bunk because I have seizures, you know? And they would give me meds. I'd be detoxing. They'd be giving me all kinds of seizure meds, and I'd be feeling like relaxed, you know? It was like my little like trick, you know? Yeah. And it backfired.
Oh my God.
Backfired heavy, because if you have seizures, you can't go to work camp. So they sent me to Florida's most violent max camp, you know? And so I get there, man. When I get there, and when I get and when
like paint a picture, like what is it like when you first get there?
Very bad. When I'm talking like hell. You ever been to hell? It's like hell, like demons everywhere. I'm talking hot. You get off the bus, they're yelling at you. There's like devils and shit. I'm talking, people are screaming, fucking killing. I mean, it's like fucking off the chain. Like, think about hell on earth. It is hell on earth. I'm talking like I've been on foot in the most vicious hoods: Tatertown, Deep Side, Shallow Side, this side, Overtown, Little Haiti, you know, Kai City. You know, I've been through every hood on foot, and I'm way safer in every single foot on foot by myself. You know, I have 5 black dudes running up on me. You know what I'm saying? And I tell them, bro, you get away from me. I'm gonna call the, you know, Zay or whoever the dope boy is that, you know, runs the hood, because I knew them all. You know, all right, white boy. You know, but like this is really bad. This prison, and I could go on for like an hour talking about prison, like everything in prison. You want to hear a little bit about it?
Yeah, of course.
Oh man, Florida's prison, and the most violent one at that. You know, so I get there, and they sent me to a certain pod, and I'm talking like dirty, gangland, COs or fucking inmates bringing in the dope. I mean, just off the chain. People are twacking out on the twack, they call it, the whatever they fucking, the Tucci,
Spice.
Tucci, or Tucci, not Tutsi, the Tucci they call it. They're twacking out on it. They're fucking not. It's like cut with fentanyl. It's like K2 cut with fentanyl. They're overdosing. A dude overdosed and died. I seen him on the toilet dead. You know, like it's just wild in there. And I got there, and you know, I remember them saying like, stay away from the 3 Gs: gangs, gays, and gambling. You know. And just respect. You just don't get high either. You know what I'm saying? And just show respect. And I can kind of handle myself, you know. But like I could see they prey on people. Like they TOA'd me, test the heart. They'll TOA you. They'll check you. You know, to see like I remember them coming in and you know, hey, what's up, white boy? You know, I'm hungry. You got some? And at first I'm like, here, you had this bag of chips. You know, I'll let you slide with that. You know, like it's just cool with me. Hey, I'm hungry. I don't know you. Maybe you cool. Whatever. Yeah. Come back again, asking me for fucking chips again. The next day I said, dog, shit ain't sweet in here. You know what I'm saying? And like, oh yeah, what's up, Cracker? You know? And I'm like, what's up, dog? Come on. I put up my set. I'm like, all right, Cracker. All right, you know, like they I fuck with you. You know what I'm saying? All right, then, you know. Like, and like they seen that you stand up, but they'll go prey on people. They'll see how far they could get, you know, and see who they could prey on. They're fucking vicious in there. Been in the whole chain gang their whole lives, you know. My pod had 60% life sentences, maybe more, you know. So anyways, I get there and I remember a GD, he was cool. We were smoking cigarettes in my pod and I wasn't getting high. In prison, I didn't get high once, you know. And I can remember that we were smoking cigarettes in there and I can remember him pulling out a plexiglass shank and he had done 9 years. He was a gangster disciple, white boy. And he's like, here, you're going to need this. This is Welcome to Murder Martin. They call it Murder Martin, you know. I was like, all right, thanks, you know. You gave me the plexiglass knife, you know. It was crazy, like twisting and shit. I mean, you hit someone with that, and they have it plexiglass because you can't, when you baton you, they wand you every time you go to child. It's a max camp. It's gated to get there so they can't get at each other, you know. And I can remember, you know, going to get your job. Everyone has to get their job. Everyone has to have their own little job there in the prison. And I can remember them. They're drinking Bang and shit. Everyone's drinking Bang. Every CO, everyone in there. And I can remember the ladies and like there's like probably the classification ladies. They classify you. There's like 4 of them in different offices. There's the nurses. There's the doctor. There's the psych doctor. There's the assistant warden. And then there's like the other, I don't know, a whole other room full of ladies, you know. And I can remember the ladies like me, you know. They took like an interest in me, you know, like, oh, look at him, like a little boy toy. He's gonna be our worker, you know. Oh, look at him, like showing me around. We like him. And I was like, oh, my uncle owns Bang too. Like, no way, you know. They found out my uncle owns Bang, and they like me, you know. And they gave me a job as like the orderly there, the medical orderly. So I was able to, when you get that position in chain gang, it's like a real good. The warden brought me in his office. You could. So the work camp comes in every day from work. From the outside, like a different, and they go to medical there because it's like the Martin work camp. They're not in the same prison, so they'll come in, and I'm the only one that can see them. Me and like one other guy that's working with me. So they come in and they bring cigarettes. They put it up their ass. You know, they tape it up like packs. And so when I go to my pod, the gang members and shit were putting their teeth. They're like, bro, white boy, if you can move right, you can make us money. You can make money. You know what I'm saying? And they were talking about how you got to move, you know? And I can remember the warden, assistant warden, bring me in his office. He says, Ryan, if I catch you doing anything in this prison, anything in this, I'm going to bam you and send you to Alaska in the box and make sure you never get out. I was like, sir, I would never do anything, you know? Absolutely not, you know? Sure enough, you know, they're bringing in the cigarettes. And in my pod, when people would go to Vizzo, they would take the whoever would visit them would give them $20 bills under the thing, and they eat it. And they swallow it.
The $20 bills?
Correct. And they shit it out.
What?
And they wipe it off, and he got a $20 bill. Now, so my pod, all the hustlers, all the gang members would come to me, and I say, hey, I'm going to work. Come on. Who, you know what I'm saying? So they know. They come to my pod, and whoever had cash, they give me the money. And now I'm responsible for the fucking Sergeant of the Blood's $20, and this one $20, the GD Gangster Disciple who runs a pound, this one, you know what I'm saying? I got their money on me now, and like I'm responsible for it, you know what I'm saying? But like every pack that I brought back, I got 5 cigarettes for bringing it back. Each cigarette cost $8, 8 bags of chips. So I mean, every day I was bringing back anywhere between like some days none, but like it was days between it was like an average of like 1 to 2 packs a day. Sometimes 4, sometimes none, sometimes 1.
And you're talking about 1 pack of cigarettes?
1 pack of the $3 cigarettes, like the black, the brown, like trashy homeless cigarettes, you know?
What? Not like name brand?
Not no name brand. No. Yeah.
Why not?
Because it's cheap. It's cheap to get out there. It's cheap. And because they rip them up and they put them in Bible paper. You smoke it in Bible paper. So like, I guess it smokes better. You know, it lasts longer. It's more nicotine. It hits better, you know? So I would go there, and the lady, the CO, I told her I'd give her a job as a Bang ambassador. She was this fine blonde chick. She wanted to be a Bang ambassador, and she liked me. She was drinking Bang. She would pour me Bang and stuff, and I was like her worker. So she would look away. And like I'd be like, yo, you got packs? You got packs? Like, I got packs. Who got packs? Who got packs? I'd tell him. And like I'd be sweeping, pretending like I'm sweeping next to him, you know? And like, I got go to the bathroom, you know? So they put I dropped the $20 bill on the ground, and they go put the pack in, or 40 or whatever it was, how many packs they had.
So go to the bathroom and shit it out?
They pulled out of their ass.
Wow.
wipe it down in the black. It's black, you know, that black fucking tight tape, you know, the duct tape, black duct tape, whatever. And they fucking put it so tight. 4-pack sometimes up a dude's ass. I don't know how. Yeah, four, dude. It's like big, like a fucking this, you know?
What?
Yeah, it's real big. So anyways, I like the 4-pack shit. I'll make money off of that, you know? So they put it in, and I put it in my sock or whatever, and I tell her, hey, I gotta go back to my pod, you know, I gotta go to the bathroom, I gotta go to canteen or whatever, you know, let me go back. All right, no problem. They fuck with me, you know? So I go back to my pod, and I sure enough, I tell them, come on. And they come to my cell, and I'd get 5 cigarettes off of each pack. And I got addicted to that. It was like fast money to me. It was like a little hustle, you know? That's how I got most of my tattoos. I ate good. I hung out good. You know, I was hustling the hustlers. People that been there their whole lives, you know? I'm in there making money. I'm selling cigarettes now, little chubs, you know? Because I was a cigarette man, you know? And because I'm making, sometimes I have more cigarettes than the people that are bringing the cash because I'm making so much off of everybody, you know? And I'm like the plug, you know? And so I would do that a lot. And like, listen, man, it's gangland in there. Like, gangland. I'm talking about real gangsters, not these gangsters on the street. I'm talking like these people in there, the most vicious, ruthless animals I've ever seen in my life. Like, they'll rape your mom in front of you and laugh about it and then stab her, you know? Like, vicious animals that do not belong on the street. Like, vicious people, you know? Latin Kings, LK all over their face. The Aryan brothers have swastikas on their face. Swastikas on their fucking face like that. You know what I mean? Fucking the Bloods would have stars all over their face. The fucking GDs would have pitchforks all over their face. You know, the star, the 6-point star, because they say that like the Bloods live up under the 5. You know, the 5, and the Latin Kings, and here in Florida, they live up under the 5. The 5-point star, the 5-point crown, and the GDs live up under the 6. The GD, I remember this little GD would come into the pod, and he'd be like, "Where my 6s at? Where my 6s at?" And he's throwing up his GD, the pitchforks, you know? And they'd be like doing a call, and then the Bloods would have like the Sue-woo call or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Well, my Bloods at Sue-woo, you know? And they'd be all like screaming from wherever they're at. I mean, I'm talking like real gangland, and they live and die by this shit.
Yeah. You told me like some of the CEOs were gang members too, right?
Yeah. Latin King. She was a Latin King, letting the Latin Kings do whatever the fuck they want. I remember the CEO in the reception center was a Latin King. He was like, "Where my kings at?" You know what I'm saying? She was a Latin queen, and it was crazy. And they're bringing in the drugs and like, so like, let me get to it. So I remember one time, GD. This is how they operate in there. It's very like by the rules, like organized. And I can remember one time this Aryan brother was getting he got robbed by a Blood, right? The Blood robbed him. So the Aryan brothers linked up, and when the Blood was going to chow, they ran up on him and stabbed him and got him airlifted off the compound. They stabbed the shit out of him, you know? And I can remember all the Bloods just ready, you know? But the Bloods can't move unless there's a shot caller on every pound. And in Florida, there's a main shot caller somewhere who's above them, who they have to call on the phone to get permission from like real serious shit.
So they got to get permission to murder someone?
Yeah, absolutely.
What?
You gotta get permission to fight. So if a Latin King tries me, I can't just start sticking him. I got to get permission from the shot caller of the compound of the Latin Kings. Ask him, hey, can I run a fade with him? He tried me. Go ahead.
Wow.
You're allowed to bump it out, you know? But if I just
But wait, if you're shooting a fade, and can they pull out a weapon, or that's like not allowed, or it don't matter? Like any rules? Like no rules?
No, they're not allowed to stab. They got a fair fight. The gangs live by
so
like
it's fair fighting.
Yeah, fist fight. You know what I'm saying? They only stab you when they're like coming to like you rob someone or you do something, or you really violate them. You know what I'm saying? Or you owe them money and you try someone, they're coming and stabbing the shit out of you. Or just a non-gang member will stab somebody.
If you murder someone in prison, what's the consequence of that?
They already got life. Nothing. They go to the box. They already got life. Doesn't matter. Yeah, it doesn't matter. Like, they go to court for it, but they get away with it. In there's no COs. There's no cameras. No one's watching.
No cameras?
The COs are sleeping like this. The prisoners run the yard. You have no help, Brian. So if 5 Bloods run up in your cell and they want to fucking
kill you and walk away.
There's nothing you could do about it. Nothing anyone could do about it. I don't care if you're the baddest man on the planet.
How many people you think died like a month there?
While I was there, I don't know. They got airlifted. I don't know if they lived or died. They don't talk about it, you know. But they go off the stretcher, you know. I've seen dudes get. I'll tell you about the stabbings I've seen, you know. But like, probably a lot. But when I've been there, I mean, a lot of people got stabbed. I'd say probably when I've been there, I probably witnessed at least 3 witnessed. I mean, and then like hitting the floor and not hearing about it or whatever. I mean, probably every other day someone's getting fucking murked or something, stabbed or beat up, you know. I mean, it was bad in there, Bryan. Gangland, every 5 feet you walk, when I'm going to chow, I have to move around like this because they're throwing it up. They're throwing it up to each other. They're throwing up the pitchforks.
So what, you got to move out the way?
Yeah, they're moving out the way. They're standing there pounding each other up. You know what I'm saying? Dapping each other up. Bam, bam, you know? They're fucking, the Bloods have the sickest handshake. The Bloods handshake. They like salute each other. They come like this and salute each other. You
That's
know?
crazy.
Like, wow, this is fucking, that's a tough handshake. You know what I mean? I watch them. They're standing at each other, you know? And you're not allowed to like get high, but even like the white
and they
boys.
respected the people that like didn't want to join a gang?
They did not respect, who they did not respect is the child molesters, and they did not respect the people who got high. You know what I'm saying? Like, you looked at really poorly. You got high. You
got high.
Yeah, and you see people dope down and like take advantage of them, rob them, like fucking like, you know, but if you carry yourself in a tough manner, you don't get high, you respect, you know, you show respect, you know?
Gotcha.
So anyways, yeah, I mean, I remember this one dude, he was cool, his name was Beast Mode. I mean, when I talk about like Ray Lewis tatted down from head to toe, like scary, head of the GDs, you know? He was just shot out, crazy, you know? It was just real, but he was cool with me. I was cool with them, you know what I'm saying? Like I was the one moving this from every pod. So I was the only one that was allowed to go. I had to pass out the medical orderly, so I had to go to every single pod when it's on lockdown or whatever and pass out the flyers to every single dorm, you know? And I remember going through there and like I remember like they let me in and like I'd bring like bleach for like one of the sergeants over there, the Bloods, or one of the whoever I knew or whatever, get me this, and they gave me a couple bags of chips or whatever. I'm leaving with chips on me, you know, but whatever. I moved and this one's like throw this under and pass this to this pod. So I'm moving. The CO's not even really, you know, I'm moving shit. So I looked out, you know what I'm saying, and they didn't fuck with me, you know, like I carried myself in a manner. I brought the cigarettes in, like I was cool with everyone, you know, and yeah, I remember someone getting stabbed in the neck with a fucking piece of fence like this. So I'm walking around. I remember one time, and a dude had, you know, the Cuban link, the circle fences, and I remember a dude getting hit in the neck right in front of me, like literally right in front of me, like 2 feet away, and I could see it like in his neck, and his neck's twitching and shit. You know, I'm like, oh man, that shit sometimes it don't look real, you know. Everyone hit the floor. I can remember another time in the rec yard in Zoe Mafia, ZMF. That they thought that this dude was snitching and they stabbed him from behind with a big knife in his eyeball and he's leaking and shit. Blood everywhere. It's like eyeballs coming out, you know? And I can remember like 4 Bloods running up in a cell and just stabbing the shit. Dudes screaming, you know, and they're coming out with blood all over their shirt, you know? And they're changing real quick, you know? Like they got away with like a murder. I'm watching like a crime go down, you know? And then COs, you know, like throw it away. And like we be smoking cigarettes in the pod, getting tattooed. I'm getting so my best friend in there, 2 of my best friends.
How would they do the tattoo guns?
So one of them was one of my best friends in there. I got real close with. He was a Brown Pride gang leader. It's just like a Latin King set. I mean a Hispanic gang, Brown Pride. And he was my best friend. He was the biggest dope boy on the compound. His name was Los. He was cool as fuck, you know? He's a Cuban dude. And then my other best friend in there, he was in my pod. He was the best tattoo artist in like South Florida. And his name was Jay. He was doing 2 life sentences. He killed 2 people and buried them. He's from Hollywood, Florida. He was on coke and he killed an old man and a girl and buried them. Wow. But he's my best friend. You know what I mean? We were cool. Like everyone in there are killers, you know? And they're like hanging out in my cell. We're smoking cigarettes, you know, talking about fucking life, you know? And so anyways, yeah, I'm getting tatted. They'd have like the CD player. They break the CD player, get like the whatever it is from the CD player. Then they get like 4 batteries with nail filers. They tie it up with rubber bands. They take the headphones apart. They put the battery in the negative and the positive, and then they take a piece of take the pen out, take the pen out of a pen or whatever, you know, and they'd shave it down. And then they cut it, and then they get the soot and they burn it on cans upside down with like, we'd smoke cigarettes in there too with like a battery and a piece of Brillo. You put it on one side and it sparks. And we take Bible paper, we rip the Bible paper out, and we put the cigarettes in there. And I can remember being in prison and like thinking like God gave up on me, and like that I'm literally in hell. Talk about hell as an exit. This is hell. When I tell you there's nothing worse than this, hell might not even be worse than this. There's no AC in there, Bryan. You're sweating all day long. You're watching people stab each other. You're with a bunch of fucking animals running around killing each other, like demons, for real. Real demons, dog. Like scary people, you know? Like, and it's like, dude. And I'm watching them stab you, and I'm smoking cigarettes with a Bible paper, like ripping the Bible paper. Like, God, you abandoned me. I don't care about you. This is where I belong with the demons and the devils. This is my life. It is what it is, you know? And so I remember smoking cigarettes in there, getting tatted. And so when the COs would once in a while randomly do their rounds, like you're supposed to do it every hour. They do it like every couple hours. And they'd go real slow, and then they start coming around. Before they even get in the cell, people would yell, yellow light, yellow light, yellow light. You know what I'm saying? That they're coming. Like yellow light, you know? Then they're in the pod, everyone would scream. I don't care who you are. It's mandatory. You fucking look out for each other in that pod. Red light, red light, red light, red light. Right in front of the COs, you know?
They don't care.
They don't give a fuck. Red light, that means they're in. So fuck, put out the cigarette, you know what I'm saying? And like, we'll put away the tattoo gun, you know, just chill, you know, like we're just chilling, you know? And they wouldn't even really care. They look and they just keep it moving, you know? But just in case, you know? But it was a wide open camp. I mean, other camps, like, they do their rounds, I hear. Like, it's like more organized. It's not like that. You know what I mean? This camp was just wide open. It was where all they sent the misfits and the bad people from other camps. It was like IS. You ever been in internal suspension where it's like the bad kids? Or whatever it's called? Like ES? ES or something?
Internal suspension.
ESC class.
Yeah.
It's like the bad kids.
But wait. They did like a documentary on this, your boy, right?
Oh, yeah. So one of my boys in there, when I was in there, he was doing a documentary the whole time on this. And how corrupt it was, you know, like how the COs are bringing in the dope. Like my boy Los, he was showing me had a cell phone. Like cell phones they get from the visitation, they put it up their ass. But like I don't know, he had like a big cell phone. I don't know how you get it. It was the biggest dope boy in the compound, you know. He had a big cell phone. He was showing me flicks of the CO, this black CO, sending them flicks like of her ass and shit. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then they call his name randomly, and he'd have to go to another pod, and he'd come back with an ounce of Molly. You know what I mean? He's like, because I guess his girl was wiring the CO money. The COs were bringing in the dope, you know? What did you ask me before that?
Oh, the documentary.
Oh, yeah. So my boy in there, he had a Bible. He cut a little hole in the Bible. And in the rec yard, he just showed everything, how corrupt it was. When the COs would walk by, they wouldn't even look in the cell. Like how like people were just stabbing and killing each other. People were twacking out on Tucci overdosing. How just like it was just so wide open and corrupt. So like the worst, like hell, Bryan, you know? And it got leaked. He was telling me he was in there doing 30 years for blues. He had like caught trafficking blues like for the second time, and they gave him 30 mandatory 30.
Yeah, I remember when they were handing out those crazy sentences.
30 years. This guy's like poor kid, man. He's younger, you know. He's caught 30. You know what I'm saying? Depressed and shit. Cool cat from like Tampa, and he was just videoing. And he said, "Ryan, I'm gonna try and make money off this." And I guess it got leaked. You know, he leaked it. And the CO's probably whooped his ass, you know. I mean, that was ballsy, but he tried to make money off of it or whatever. He just wanted to like let everyone know what's going on. But yeah, he videoed everything, how corrupt it was, how dirty it was, how corrupt. It's a very, very bad place, Bryan.
When you got out of prison, what was like the change of you like even thinking about really staying clean? Because when you got out, you went back to using, right?
Yeah, so no, when I got out, like when you go to prison, like and I've watched people like a lot of people in there they get sliced with a razor blade. So when you're eating lunch, they'll come and they'll slice you, you know, if you're a snitch or if you get X'd out of your gang or just stab you. So like I had a lot of PTSD in there. I seen people get slit. I seen people walking around with scars on their I mean, it was just so off the chain. And when I got out of prison, I still had that mentality, you know, like that prison mentality. I'm watching on my back. I want to fight you, you know, like I just was like, not really, I don't know. I still had that mentality. I'm a 4-time convicted felon. I'm in halfway house again. I'm out of prison. Like, poor me, victim, fucking, no, this is just like my life. I didn't think I could get recovery. I've been in and out of the rooms for 11 years trying to get it, you know. I've been to treatment so many times. I've tried to get 30 days, 60 days. I wanted to get clean, and I thought I was that hopeless addict that can never get it. Just never thought that I would be able to get clean, ever. Everyone would see me. You'd see me. I'd run up to you in treatment. I'd be at Bark at a state-run facility. Bryan, you know? What would I say to you?
You'd be like, yo, please tell me how to stay clean. Like I had some secret, and I was just like, bro, you gotta go to meetings and get a sponsor. You're like, no, like there's gotta be something else.
Yeah, you're holding out on me.
You'd be like, should I go to IRT? Should I go to treatment? I'm like, yeah, bro. You're like, really? Yeah. Like, yeah, dude. You're like, I just got out of prison. Like, do I really need to go? Yeah. I'm like, bro, whatever they tell you to do. You'd be like, really? Yeah. I'm like, bro, I'm telling you, if they tell you to fucking stay here for 10 months, stay here for 10 months. Yeah. If they tell you to go to halfway, go to halfway. And you'd be like, you think I should listen to them? Like, you're still like, I don't know. You thought like I had some secret about it.
Prison too. I can remember the Aryans were trying to recruit me. They see how I stood up for myself or whatever, you know, and they would have me go, and like, you know, I'm not. See, now you link up with your own kind. It's not necessarily that you're racist. Like, yeah, they, you know, the Zoe mafias get along with the Aryans. The Aryans will get along with, you know, whatever. You just link up with your own kind. And in prison, it's 10% white. You know, there's not a lot of Aryans. You know, the Bloods are really the most organized. They run the prison. So I remember the Aryan brothers bringing me into their cell, and they wanted to have a history lesson about telling me that the Aryans were Egyptians. The Aryans, they came from this and this and that. And they were like, listen, we want you to. They're like, we don't want you to join because you're about to get out, you know, and you'd have to stab someone to join. And usually you join a gang when you have like 5 years or over.
You got to stab someone to join?
Yeah, you got to get initiated. Correct. Initiated.
Okay, but it wouldn't be a random person. It would be somebody that they had beef with.
They had beef with. Correct.
Okay.
And so like they wanted me to join, but they knew I was about to get out, you know. Usually you join when you have 5 years or more, right? So they wanted me to get out and make the white race proud, reproduce, you know. I was just like, okay, I'm listening to this, you know, like I'm not racist, you know. It's like, I was like, okay, you know, all right, whatever. So I can remember, I can remember just them, and then I can remember people like that had life sentences in my pod, and like they were like, Ryan, like go out there and live a good life. And then one time, like someone asked me, like, when are you getting out? Like, what's your EOS date? And I tell them, and they're like, bro, someone told me, don't ever repeat that. They don't want you to leave. They'll kill you. They don't want you to get out of prison.
Wow.
And I can remember like leaving.
They're that spiteful.
Yeah, and I can remember leaving prison. My mom picked me up, and the CO said, I can't believe your son made it out. Like, be grateful he made it out of here. Like, dead serious. She said that to my mom, you know? And like, I'm thinking back, like, when I was in there, Bryan, I was selling cigarettes. I was hustling the hustlers. I was selling cigarettes to people that had been living in that compound fucking their whole decades. And I'm coming in there taking over, fucking hustling them. I'm making money off of them, you know, and like making nothing out of something, making money, being able to eat good, whatever, you know, and the most violent, vicious, in hell. I made it in hell. I was all right, you know. And so like thinking to myself, now I'm getting out and I have all these connections. I have all these, you know, I have I'm clean. I have a car. I have this. I have a cell phone. I have Instagram, social media. I have this. You're going to tell me I can't take over fucking the real world when I could take over in that place? Well, ain't nothing can stop me. You know what I mean? Like, what can really stop me? You think about it. You know what I mean? That it didn't, like, I turned nothing out of something in there. You telling me I have all these, like, you know, what's your excuse? No, I ain't no excuse. I'm gonna take over here, you know? And it's just crazy how when I got out, you know, still like that, going to these meetings, and I wasn't sold. Thing is, me, I'd go to the meetings and I do like 80%, 70%. And like you said, I think you might have said this one time before. It's like having a crack pipe. It's like having a crack. It's like having a lighter and no Brillo. Like, you can't smoke it, you know? It's just, that's how recovery is. If you don't do it 100%, it's not going to work, you know? And for some reason, Ryan's ego thought like, oh, I don't have to do all this. I could just go to the meetings. I could just hang out with my girl. I'm 60 days clean now. I have fucking 8 months, you know, nothing in my system or whatever. You know, I'm all right. And I can remember just going to the meetings and not doing what I had to do. And I can remember my roommate came home. He had some Adderall. I grabbed 10. And I went on a vicious run. Real vicious run. Heroin. I've overdosed on fentanyl before. And halfway. I've been everywhere you could think of, you know? And
knowing that if you use again, you're going back to prison.
Oh yeah, I'm going back to prison. Yeah. No. So this was my last. So then I remember like I broke down and I was crying and I told my mom, my sister, like, I love you, but I'm sorry I didn't make it. You know, like, I'm gonna take my life. Like before, I wanted the dope boy to kill me, or the drugs to kill me, or I was too cowardly to kill myself. I wanted to kill myself, but this time I was really had a plan to kill myself because I was so tired, so sick and tired of this life, so sick and tired of everyone in my path getting hurt, myself. I just couldn't do it anymore, and I cried and I said I love you, but I didn't make it. You know, like, you'll be happier now. You could rest now. You don't have to worry. My mom used to like the cops would knock on the door all the time looking for me. She'd be like waiting for them to say your son's dead. My sister couldn't sleep at night crying, and my dad just pretended like I was dead. You know what I mean? They couldn't deal with it no more. And my mom and my sister started crying. They're like, please. They seen like I was serious. I was broken, like real broke. I've never been at this point in my life. And they said, please, one more time. You're a fighter. Give it one more time. You know, please, one more time. And I was like, fuck, one more time. I was like, all right, you know. I was like, you know what? I'm going to show everyone that I'm going to do this program 100% and show everyone that this program does not work. And in the back of my mind, I'm saying, this is my last chance. I can remember in the back of my mind saying, people, give yourself a year. If it doesn't work out, the drugs and shit will always be there. Give it a chance, you know? And I was like, yeah, this is it, you know? So I went into Bark Detox. I had a bed. I was on every drug. Xanax.
I remember I seen you in there.
Xanax. Yeah, the detox, yeah.
Because I remember I was like, bro, weren't you just in prison?
Yeah. I remember seeing you came in for H&I. You'd always be in there for H&I, Bryan. You'd always, you know, you're a good guy, man. I love you. You know, you always came, you're always there to give me hope and love and at my worst times, you know? And, so I went in and, I tried to do everything they said. And like when we get clean, we're not perfect, we're not saints. Like, and I can remember them saying take the suggestions and stuff. And I can remember staying away from the girls. And like I remember going to IRT, and there's this girl, and she looked at me twice. She moved her hair. She looked at me again. I said, we're dating. That's my girlfriend. No one look at her. That's mine. You know. And we're writing notes and like blowing. She's showing me her titties and like, oh, that's my baby. That's my future wife. Whatever. It's a real hot girl. You know, the hottest one in there. And she And I got caught up in her, you know, and not focusing on myself. And I remember, like, God did for me what I couldn't do for myself. She ended up getting kicked out. I ended up getting out, completing, going to a halfway. And I can remember them saying, like, latch on to the winners. I can remember going to these meetings for so long. You see me in and out for so long. Like, they made me go to these meetings. I would listen. And they'd say all these cliches. They say, if you stay in the middle, you can't fall off the edge. They say, latch on to the winners. They say, save your ass and not your face. Who cares what people think? You know, this is life or death. You know? And so, like, I got a home group right away. I started latching on to the winners. I started raising my hand and being vulnerable. I thought it was weird going up to another man. I used to say, hey, you think you can sponsor me? And the person saying, like, no. I'd be like,
Get
man.
rejected.
I got rejected. But I didn't have a problem going up to Debo in the fucking hood and say, hey, yo, let me get it. Where's it at? Or give me a front or whatever, you know? But I have a problem going up to another man that's trying to save my life, like that's going to save my life and not knowing that I also helped the sponsor, you know? I'm sure I probably helped you at times.
Of course.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm a sponsor now, huh?
Today,
you know, I love you, you know?
I love you too.
You know, and so like that's what we do. We love and we help each other. That's what this program's about, you know. Like you pulling me out of the fire. Now I could pull other people out of the fire. You know what I'm saying? You've pulled thousands of people out of the fire. You know, and now I'm trying to pull people out of the fire. I got my sponsor. He just called me now. You know, I just checked my phone, and it's cool. Like I'm able to like, and so when I got out of, I started doing everything they say. I got a home group, got a service commitment, everything to a T. Let's see if this shit really works. You know. And I was in halfway, and the beginning sucks. You know, I don't have a car. I'm taking a bus to a fucking job and a phone room, and I'm going to my meetings, but I'm doing everything. I'm sticking to the winners. I'm calling the winners. I got a sponsor. And I can remember in the beginning, I got a sponsor, and it wasn't you. You weren't my sponsor. And like the very beginning, because you were too tough.
Yeah.
Brian. I'm like, I told my sister, should I have Brian sponsor me? Should I have Brian sponsor me? She's like, I don't know. And I'm like, well, he's so tough. You tell me I can't buy shoes, I can't get tattoos, I can't talk to girls. No, I'm like, so what the fuck? What's the point of getting clean? You know?
Yeah, I told you that for years.
Yeah.
You'd be like, yo, man, sponsor me. I'd be like, bro, no tattoos, no shopping, no selfies on the gram. And then you'd be like, oh, man, for real? Yeah. You'd be like, you buy shoes?
Yeah. I was like, come on, man, that shit's weak. What is recovery even about, you know?
And you'd be like, for how long? I'm like, I don't know. Yeah. And you'd be like, oh, you know, for real, Brian? And I'm like, yeah, bro, I'll sponsor you. No tattoos, no shoes, no girls. And you just be like, oh, no, I'll hit you up later. And you'll never hit me up. And like a year later, you do the same thing.
You're testing my willingness.
Same thing forever.
Yeah, you're testing my willingness.
Yeah. And then this time you were like, yo, I remember you had like 6 months, 9
months.
Yeah,
so my sponsor fired me for once because he couldn't, like, you know, and I was like, bro, what the fuck is this? I'm doing everything right. You see, it doesn't work. For once, usually like I stopped calling my sponsor, you know, and like he said I can't sponsor you no more. And I was like, how dare you, you know? So then I had like 6 months and I came up to you and what did I say?
You're like, yo, I'll do anything. I said, bro, no shoes, no girls, no tattoos. You're like, bro, I'll do whatever.
Yeah.
And then a week later, I was like, yo, you could buy shoes and get tattoos and talk to girls. And you were like, what?
Yeah, I couldn't believe it.
Like, I was like, yeah, bro, I'm just gonna see how long you could do it for if you. And you were like, I just never knew. And I was just like, just a little test.
Your willingness, yeah, that was a good one.
What you want to do?
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro. For years, you were just like, I don't know, I can't.
It's too tough.
A week went by and I was like,
yeah, and you told me I could do it. I was like, that's crazy, man. He just tricked me. So I remember, and then I got the 6 months. I couldn't believe it, I was like, wow. And then like the 9 months, I was like, I was in a relationship again with another girl, and I can remember like they're saying there's gonna be a point in recovery where it's just you and God, and I can remember them saying that, and I can remember. So I was in prison, and I was mad at God. I always had a good relationship with God. Then I was mad at God. Then like I started working on that relationship again, while I was getting clean. And I can remember the girl, like something happened and we broke up, and I was devastated, and I wanted to get high so bad. Like when you want to get high so bad before in the past, like when I have that thought, nothing's stopping me. You know what I mean? Like that obsession and just like I'm going. But I can remember them saying, try and reach out to people. And I'm reaching out. And I can remember them saying like there's going to be a point where it's just you and God. So like I started crying, and I was praying and praying and praying and praying. And I can remember waking up. And that's why they say like I can remember waking up and not wanting to get high. I'm like, wow, I didn't have to act out on that impulse, or that thought, And they say it's just a thought, you don't have to make an action or whatever, And I can remember that, like now realizing why they say it's just 1 minute at a time, 1 hour at a time, one day at a time sometimes, and you got to get through it. And I can remember getting my year, and my mom, my sister giving me a medallion, and it's just like they were crying, and like I couldn't even believe it. I thought it was so foreign. I thought people were lying. There's no way someone could get a year. There's no way. It's like impossible. They weren't a drug addict, or they weren't clean, or they weren't as bad as me, or whatever. And I always look at the differences and not the similarities, which is bad, And so I got that year, and like I was terrified to like speak in front of everyone. I used to like think everyone's judging me, how I'm speaking, talking, whatever. And I did that, and I just started to continue to do everything they say. Even since he had a year and a half clean, I remember getting an H&I service commitment. I've been bringing a meeting into a detox or a treatment facility for the last 3 years.
Yeah.
For the last 3 years straight. I'm talking every other week for the last 3 years straight.
Dude, I did IRT Bridges for 13 years.
Wow.
Nonstop.
Wow.
Never not had a commitment.
Wow.
And it's like, dude, now is the first time I've not had a commitment because I travel so much because I've been back and forth from California. And I was at a meeting the other night in New York, and this guy was talking about H&I. And I'm like, dude, I got like emotional. I was like, damn, it's crazy. Like just thinking about like how much it affects you, you know, because like I haven't done it in years. Yeah. And I'm just like, damn, bro, like I need to start doing. Yeah. I need to try to get involved somehow because I don't want to take a commitment if I'm not going to be able to do it every week. And it's like sometimes I just don't know where I'm going to be. Right. But it's like, man, those 13, like it keeps you clean. It kept me clean. Oh, my God. So the sometimes you feel you ain't helping nobody except for yourself. Except for myself. Like sometimes, no, but like I go in there, Bryan, and I'm like, my story, it really touches people. People come up to me every single time. They want me to sponsor them or whatever, or I'll bring a speaker in. I used to tell you that all the time. I'll be like, bro, you're going to be like, all the kids are going to love you. They tell me I'm the greatest speaker I've ever heard. They're like, this is the greatest thing I've ever heard in my life. They're like, you're the greatest speaker that's ever came in I've ever heard. They tell it to me all the time. And I'm like, wow, I guess I have like a big testimony or story to tell, Yeah, well, it's like a lot of times the people that are doing H&I are not young or like relatable, or they might not have like the enthusiasm or it's not like authentic. It's just not like reaching people in that way. As much as, like think about it, like when you got clean, I'm sure like a lot of people that you would see, like, you would respect their story, but it wouldn't like really hit them the way that it does when you tell your story, And it's like, I used to tell you, I was like, bro, you go make someone's day right now. You go pick up a newcomer, take him in a ride for your car, take him to go eat. Like, bro, you changed the whole world. Yeah. Yeah, like you did for me. Yeah. Like I remember you had me since I was 6 months. Like I was like a fucking toddler. You got me when I was a toddler. Yeah. You're feeding me with a fucking milk. That was my recovery with a bottle. Hey Ryan, come get this bottle of milk. Yeah. Now like I'm a juvenile. You know what I'm saying? I got the gallon of milk and I spill it everywhere. I'll try and feed it to people, Now like I'm still trying to figure that out, trying to feed the milk to other people now, like you fed it to me. Yeah, bro. I remember this guy. This dude's real spiritual. He's like super Christian, but he's not like persuasive or like too crazy with it. I remember I was talking to him and he was like, baby food. You got to just give it to people with baby food, because they can't take the whole bit yet. So it's like you got to really give them little pieces of it that they can understand. And he was just explaining to me like that's how you reach people, It's like just little bits that they get. Bryan, do you remember when you picked me up I took you in your McLaren? Can we talk about this? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, so you remember in your McLaren? We did my 4-step.
I did my 4-step in my McLaren.
Yeah, in your McLaren.
Under the bridge.
Under the bridge, and I
Yeah.
told you like bad shit I
Yeah.
did, and you're like, well, I did this or that, and I'm like, oh, it's not that bad what I did, Brian. He's like,
Yeah.
no. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember you were like, oh man, I used to think you were like,
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
what'd you say? You were just like, yo, I thought you were just like clean cut and whatever. And you're like, yo, you're crazier than
Yeah,
me.
you remember what you told me what you were doing?
Yeah.
Yeah. And so like it was crazy, and then like
Yeah, because people see me and they see like a polished version.
right.
But bro, I'm off the fucking chain.
You're a real addict.
Yeah, I'm off the
Dude,
chain.
like people say, yeah, you got clean at 17. I tell people all the time, I
Yeah.
said, my sponsor got clean at 17, but when I tell you, I talk to him all the time, and he is fucking an addict just as much as me or more because I talk to him. I know we think the same.
Yeah.
So I was like, it doesn't matter if you got clean at 17. This motherfucker's a full-blown
A
addict.
lot of times when I tell people I got clean at 17, that their reaction is like, well, he
You
probably
didn't,
didn't
you
use
didn't
or
go that
whatever.
hard. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Dude, you're a real addict,
Yeah,
dude.
that
You
shit's
just like,
crazy.
you had to stop it quick because you are
Yeah.
definitely an addict.
It is definitely like a polished version, and like even when I talk to people, they're just like, I just don't see you that way, and it's like, man, it makes me so happy because there was a time where no one saw me the other way. It's like people only saw me as a drug addict, you know. And man, the other day someone sent me a TikTok of this kid I used to use with, and like, bro, SWAT broke into his house. He's all geeked out, and it's like, bro, me and this kid lived like one neighborhood away from each other, used all the time together, and it's just like I said, like when I tell people my story, like they think I grew up in like fucking
Bad.
a horrible neighborhood. They think like I just fucking was raised by wolves, like didn't have parents or foster care or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, bro, I come from a good family, but like 90% of my friends are either on opiates or crack, on Suboxone or dead.
Right.
And maybe 5% of us are clean now.
Yeah.
You know? And it's like in Broward County, bro, it's like that's how it was, bro.
Oh, yeah.
Especially when the pain clinics were popping. It was just like everybody you knew was addicted to opiates.
Yeah.
And then all the opiates people got addicted to the Dilaudid, and then they got addicted to heroin. And it's like, bro, you have a whole generation of kids on heroin.
Yeah.
Now fentanyl.
Yeah, it's crazy, man. How you stopped it at a perfect time, you know. But like,
I just knew I was gonna die.
Yeah.
So a lot of people are like, oh, I'm not gonna die. At 17, bro, I've been smoking crack already for 3 years. I was addicted to opiates for 3 years, and like, I knew given the opportunity, there was nothing I wouldn't do.
yeah,
You know, and I wanted to die. I didn't want to live, and I didn't even think that being clean was possible. So like, and I wasn't like having fun. People think like, oh well, you know, you were still having fun. Like I wasn't having fun for a long time.
right.
You know, like being dope sick 4 days out the week is the worst type of way to live. Like I wasn't even getting high.
Yeah, you had like
you
a
know?
terrible childhood.
Yeah.
Like fucking 14. Yeah,
Yeah, so it's, I'd never had a child.
no, you didn't. You
know?
didn't. You didn't. You didn't.
So it's like when I got clean, it was just like kind of how you got to that point too, where you're like, dude, what's the worst that could happen? Because it can't get worse. So it's like if I just got clean and really tried, like.
yeah, life's good, man.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's crazy that I used to think like, should I use or not?
Yeah.
Like that was once like the hardest choice
yeah.
every hour.
Yeah.
Should I get high?
Yeah.
Now it's like, bro, getting high to me is like,
It's the stupidest thing you could ever do.
it's crazy, bro.
Yeah.
It's like, would you drink gasoline right now?
Yeah, It's like,
the
what are you
same
talking
thing.
about?
Yeah, it's like I would never.
Yeah.
I'm
gasoline.
dating this girl and she was just like, oh, I wish you would do like, I wish you'd do mushrooms with me. And I was like, never.
Don't even.
I don't even. I've been tasered on acid. I've done so much mushrooms, and I did acid for a month straight. I've tripped enough. I'm not looking for a spiritual awakening. Like I don't want to do.
Yeah.
I'm not interested in doing mushrooms.
Yeah.
And sometimes you tell it to people like that, and they kind of still don't get it.
Yeah.
And I remember she brought it up again. Like I wish one day we could do mushrooms. I think it'd be so fun. I remember I looked her dead in her eyes, and I said, Drano and gasoline.
Yeah.
I rather drink Drano and gasoline than to ever do mushrooms or try and experiment with mushrooms. I'm not doing ayahuasca. I'm not fucking doing any psychedelic shit.
Ain't risking none of that.
Like, bro, my clean time means so much to me.
Oh, so much. Yeah.
And it's like even it's just like, bro, I'm so grateful to be clean. To just throw it away would be just slapping God in the face.
Yeah, it was so stupid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Lose everything. Yeah, it's
And
like
I don't judge her.
Yeah,
It's like, bro,
no,
I'm
people-
a fucking crackhead.
you can't do it.
Yeah.
We just can't. No matter what. My homeboy, good friend of mine, gets fucked up all the time, and like I watch it and I talk to him on the phone like all the time, and like he's depressed or I hear him when he's coked up. I said, "What are you doing, bumpies? You doing bumpies? You know?" all whacked out and shit, talking real fast, and then he's like, he's having a good time. I'll go out with him, and I see him having a good time and shit, having fun with people, you know. I'm like, damn, that seems fun, you know what I mean? It does, actually. Yeah, but I can still go out and have fun, though, but, like, I see how turned up he gets, but then, like, the next day, he gambled his money, he bought the hookers, and or whatever, he's just suppressed in bed for 2-3 days, and, like, he's depressed, crying to me, you know, and it's like a vicious cycle. I watch it, like, every couple days, you know.
Sometimes people's biggest curse is that they're not that bad.
Correct.
I am so bad that I was like, bro, I'll do anything.
Correct. He could handle it. He has no consequences. I have homeboys. I have no consequences.
When you kind of use, and it kind of gets in the way, and then you can reel it in for a week, or you reel it in for 3 days, whatever. That is the worst diagnosis you can have.
Correct. They're like a binger. I call them a binge alcoholic. You're a binge. He could drink 3 bottles of Johnny, like to the face for like 3 days, and
they have
drugs.
The delusion.
And then he's good for a couple days, and you know what I'm saying? And like he has no consequences. You know, has his own place, money, whatever. This is my other friend too, but yeah, so like in recovery, like I had a tattoo shop, remember? And like my partner, I love him. He's a good dude, you know, but like his drug addiction got in the way. And like I had to, in recovery, if anything gets in the way of my recovery, like you got to go. Even if it's money. I was making good money. That was my baby, that tattoo shop. Built it from the bottom. You remember? And I had to step away because, I talk to you about it all the time, you know. I had to step away because my recovery was fucking with my sanity and my recovery. And I had to step away from money.
A lot of people don't, like, a lot of part about being successful is saying no to some money. It's like, bro, not all money is good money. And it's like sometimes, bro, like you just got to know what not to do.
Right. And set boundaries with people. You know, like Blocker died. My homeboys that died, and I love them, and I miss them. Rest in peace, Blocker. Rest in peace, Bonnie. Rest in peace, Ron. Like, they died, and like I had to like set boundaries with them. I had to love them from a distance. I'll talk to them on the phone, but I'm not going to go hang out with you or help you find Suboxone or deal with your crazy shit. Blocker would overdose. I'd pick them up from the hospital. I bring them home. I try and talk to them, and they wouldn't get it. You know, I try and do my best, and it's sad. Like I've had 30 friends. I have a list of like maybe like 25 friends that have died over the last 11 years that I've known. You know what I mean? Because of this addiction. Like good people, young people. You know, they didn't want to take it serious. They didn't want to do the program 100%. They thought they were too cool. Their ego got in the way or whatever it was. You know,
money, property, prestige.
Yeah, and so my recovery got. My life got better. I finally, like, I got a car. I got this. I was a business owner. I started working with Bang, with my uncle again. I started, you know, life started getting, my family started trusting me again. My mom could sleep at night. My dad started coming around. My sister, I didn't even know my sister. She's 8 years younger than me. You know what I mean? Like, I started getting high when I was like 15, you know? She's fucking 8 years old, 7 years old. So I didn't know her. You know what I mean? And now, like, I'm able to, like, know who my little sister is and have a relationship with my sister. I didn't even know who my sister was. At 31 years old, I could have a relationship again. And then my other sister, she's done a lot for me. Allie, she's tried so much. And now, like, she could be happy and sleep at night and rest. And my mom, my dad, and, like, now I can help people. I help my friends. I bring people out the fire. Like, you've helped me. I put you through hell. I'm probably the craziest sponsee at certain times.
For sure. 1,000%.
Craziest sponsee.
Probably the craziest that does the work, because I've had crazy ones, but they don't do no work.
Yeah.
But it's like, you know, you'll act out and get off the chain, and then, you know, you'll still do your step work, still call me.
Still call you, still reel it in. Like, and I'm terrified of stopping. Like, I do my H&I. I got my home group. I got my sponsor. I do my steps. I've been slacking on that. I'm still, you know, I had a little tough year, but like I'm reeling it in now, you know? But like I do everything they say to do because I'm terrified to stop. Like you said, your H&I, you should, you got to get back on it. Like the things that kept you clean, I'm not going to stray away from that. I'm terrified to do that, you know? And but my life keeps getting better. Remember we went on a car rally? You took me on a car rally. We're fucking.
Oh, that was crazy.
Dude, I'm in your Ferrari. You took me on a JetBlue Mint. I don't even know how to fly a plane. I haven't even left the county.
That.
You know, I'm like,
that was crazy.
They're treating us like a normal citizen.
Can you tell people that I know how to drive?
Dude, you are the sickest fucking car driver I've ever met.
That was crazy.
Dude, you are off. I swear I prayed.
I remember
we prayed? I prayed.
You prayed.
I prayed, dude. I knew I was going to die. I thought I was going to die.
Wait.
I said, please, Lord, I believe in Jesus. I know I'm going to go to heaven. Like, I believe in you. So when I die, just take me to heaven. Dude, you were off the chain in that fucking F8 Trabito.
So I remember before the trip, I told you, I was like, yo, Ryan, it's going to be crazy. And you're like, I don't give a fuck, dog. Da, 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 da. I'm like, bro, it's going to be hardcore driving. I'm not going to go slow for you if you get scared. You're like, I ain't going to get scared. Da, 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 da. You're like, as hard as you want to go, I'll go, whatever. And bro, I remember we were trying to catch that McLaren.
Dude, you were trying to catch him. I said, give it up, Bryan.
Bro,
you're not going to catch it.
So I was in the F8. I had my F8 tuned on wheels. And I remember it was a 765. So the 720 had came out, but the 765 was like the LT is so sick. It's so fast. And bro, this guy could drive. This other guy, I think his name was Kevin, bro. He could drive too. And I was just trying to catch him. And I remember you're looking at me, you're like, yo, you're not catching him.
Give it up.
Bro, and like people don't understand when you do like supercar rallies, you're not on a track. We're talking about real streets, cliffs.
Yeah.
Cliffs,
nigga.
dirt.
Dude, you talking about a cliff? Dude, we're going 100 miles an hour around corners on a cliff with no guardrail. No guardrail.
Oncoming traffic.
Dude, oncoming traffic. Just in and out. Just chasing fucking a Porsche and a fucking McLaren.
Bro, I remember there was times where my body would go white. So I'd be
Dude,
driving.
you didn't tell me that.
Yeah, bro, I'd be driving and I couldn't hear the music or you. Like your body is so in the zone because you know like any false move. And it's literally like honestly, I haven't done a couple rallies, but like the last couple times I went on a rally, I honestly was like, man, I could die from this shit.
Yeah, Brian, dude, I said my prayer. You're the craziest. You're a really good driver, but like crazy, like to the limit. Like you push it like. Dude,
yeah, out of 100 cars, every time I do a rally, I'm always like top 3 crazy.
Oh, for sure. And
top
you like,
3.
yeah, you like it. And remember one time we were taking off in front of the pack of like 50, you know? We were taking off and you started hitting it and oncoming, and the helicopter fucking caught us. They caught us in the helicopter.
I thought we were going to jail.
Yeah.
I felt bad for you because I had a gun in the car.
You had a pistol in the car, and I'm a felon, you know? I'm like, oh, come on, bro.
Yeah, I remember I had a pistol in the car, and I think we were hitting like 180, 190 on the highway.
Yeah, act cool.
And the helicopter clocked us, and the cop came over. That was crazy. That was a rough time because I was getting a lot of tickets for a long time. Remember, I was getting crazy tickets.
It's like you just throw the ticket out the window. I remember we drove, and you took the ticket and threw it out the window. I'm like, this is who's off the chain.
I took a picture of it.
Oh, okay. But then I remember Damon let me use his Lamborghini Urus on my birthday, and I drove it through the whole state, and I was racing other Porsches and McLarens and shit, and the new Lamborghini Urus, and I remember I was going like 180, and I'm videoing on Instagram. You know what I mean? And I remember I told Damon, I said I went 190 in your Urus. He goes, bro, that's the fastest a car can go. You push it to the limit, you know? He's like, that's crazy. But yeah, that was super cool. It's the things in recovery, and I think recovery is like lame and boring. Oh, boring. You gotta go these meetings. It's really not.
We've had so much fun.
So much fun in recovery. I remember I used to be in the bushes, running out like on flock, chasing a trick, and with dirt all over my face. You know what I'm saying? And like her running from me, saying, "Get away from me," you know, and like, please, you know, I need $20 or whatever, you know, running from me. And now like I dating Instagram models. I'm dating bad chicks. You know, you know what I'm saying? Like how like it flips totally like around and like how good life is, and have my own car and not having to worry if I have any warrants. You know, I haven't been arrested in 4.5 since I've been clean.
Yeah, who would have thought?
Believe that?
You know, when you're using, you just feel like you just get arrested randomly.
Yeah, it's like, God, they got me, you know. But like, I haven't been arrested. I you know, I live with integrity. No one can tell me I'm a loser, scumbag, drug addict. You know, I set boundaries. I live with integrity. I do what I gotta do. I go to meetings. I do whatever. You know what I mean? I help the newcomer. You know, I'm not perfect. We fall short. I do act out on bad things. You know that. You know, and sometimes I want to act out and cause chaos. Sometimes I want to, you know, go lay someone down. Sometimes I want to, you know, really do some bad stuff. And like, I got to catch myself, you know, because we're not perfect, but we talk about it. I'm honest with you about it. I'm honest with other addicts about it. When shit goes down in recovery, you know, like, remember I had some shit, you were there for me.
Yeah.
Mike Yav was there for me.
No.
Renee came and he was there for me. You know what I'm saying?
We're like a family.
Carl was there for me.
Yeah.
Drew talked to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, people we have our family that like comes up and show. Ravi's there for me. You know what I mean? Showing up at my house when I'm down and out, ready to like act out, you know? Not get high, but just really act out, you know? And because getting high is not an option. Yeah. You know what I mean? I'd rather do it.
It starts with acting out. You act out enough, you'll damn well just get high.
Right. But like, we have each other, you know, like, you know, and it's cool. That's how recovery is. We you know, I used to think it was corny, and I used to like, and I've spoken now like 200 times at meetings. People ask me to speak, I'm there. And I kill it. And I go in and I give them my all. I give them my heart, you know, because I want to help that person. Like you tell me, you say, what if Bonnie's sitting in that crowd? You know, my best friend that died. Like, what if Bonnie's in that crowd or Blanca? What would you tell them right now? You know what I mean? And so, like, that hits me when you tell me that. And every time I speak, I'm always trying to reach out and give them my all. Just give you everything I got, you know? And when I do that, people, like, it's really, I help you, and it feels good.
For sure.
It's better. It's a better feeling when I walk out of doing something like that, and I got 20. I'm in IRT, and they had a standing ovation not too long ago. And I had people coming up to me, and everyone, like, a line, like, you want to get autographs. They want my phone number. You know what I mean? Everyone coming up to me.
That's the best feeling.
The best feeling. And I'm like, what's your name? How you doing, Ryan? Like, and I'm signing. I feel like I'm doing like a signing. Like, I'm Ryan, call me. I'm Ryan, call me.
Even what I do now, like I'm doing OnlyFans and like all this stuff, and like people think like this is like so great, and like not that it's not fun, but it's like it's not fulfilling.
Right.
So like I know what fulfills me, and I know what's fun. Like, bro, like the stuff that I do with like the girls and stuff, like, bro, that's fun. To me, it's like entertainment. But bro, when you especially me, because I don't look like I've been to prison, and I haven't been to prison. But when I walk into a prison, and when I used to do it, when I like dressed all like super corny, because I used to like have like a regular job. I remember I used to go in there. I was probably like 19 years old, and bro, the whole prison would just be grilling me like, "Oh, this young jit, whatever," you know. And bro, when you go in there and you rip it, and everyone's standing and laughing and clapping and getting your number, bro, and you walk out of there, you feel like you made such a difference, bro.
Better than getting high.
Better than getting high.
Better than getting high.
Better than all the cars,
better
the
than
girls,
everything.
all that shit.
Better than busting a nut.
Amen. And I remember, bro, the reason why I got emotional at this H&I meeting was because at this meeting when the guy was talking about H&I, so he was talking about how important it is to like go and like do service and stuff. And bro, when I used to do the Bridges work release camp, I remember the chaplain was like, "Hey, I want to talk to you when you're done." And I was like, "Okay." And he pulled me aside, and the chaplain was like, "Yo, bro, what are you doing in there?" Bro, I just bring in speakers and tell my story or whatever. And he was like, "You know, we have like 3 other classes that we had to cancel." I was like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "We had anger management, we had like parenting, and we had these other things. Like, we had to cancel them because no one goes to them no more." And he was like, "We had to move your room 3 times because there's a standing room only." And he was like, he's like, "What are you doing in there?" I was like, "Bro, we're just bringing in speakers, like whatever." And he was just like, he's like, whatever you're doing, he's like, it's making a big difference because I see how excited they are to go.
Oh, wow. That's cool.
And I remember I was thinking like, damn, it almost made me cry just thinking about that.
That's
because
cool.
It's like a lot of times in life when you do things, you feel like you give a homeless guy money, you feel like you don't do nothing. You donate to some charity, you feel like you don't do nothing. You know, you're like helping people. Sometimes you feel like you ain't making a difference. But when you go to H&I and you speak and you have people looking at you
crying,
like, "Yo, bro, like I was about to leave today."
Yes,
and
yes.
You made me want to.
You made me want to stay. Yes,
yeah, bro.
yes,
when
yes.
someone was like, "Yo, bro, yes. I used to tell myself never go to this shit, and when I leave, I'm gonna go." You know, and like and then you see them out.
Yeah,
bro. I've been.
They're doing good.
I've been at Publix with my mom, and he'd be like a tatted up gang member. I'll be like 19, and he'd be like, "Yo, bro, you came in and ripped it at Conti or whatever," and they'd be like, "Yo, bro, you like keep doing what you're doing." And even till today, like people still hit me up like, "Yo, you spoke at my prison."
Yeah, you changed me.
Yeah, bro, I've probably spoken at 500 prisons.
Wow. So cool. Such a good feeling. Yeah. People saying like, I was going to leave today, but I didn't because of you. Yeah. Or you saved my life or whatever, crying or you touched me or whatever. You know what I mean? It's the best feeling in the world, you know?
Of course, yeah.
So like, yeah, man, recovery's a blessing. I got my family back. I building a relationship with God, and like life just keeps getting better. You know, I'm having another tattoo shop now. You know, Heartbreakers Tattoo Shop.
Shout out.
Davie.
It's in Davie?
Davie, Florida, yeah.
Heartbreakers Tattoo Shop. Come get a tattoo.
Davie, Florida.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you for coming on the podcast for the second time. I love you very much.
I love you too.
Appreciate you, bro.